Happy New Year. My name is Jim Boyle, and I work for the Employer Engagement Team in Northeastern University's Office of Employer Engagement and Career Design. Today, I'm going to walk you through the registration process for our upcoming Spring 2021 career fairs. So let me just share my screen and we can get started. Okay, here we go. So just a reminder that our fairs are taking place on Tuesday, February 2nd and Thursday, February 4th. So on the 2nd, it will be our undergraduate career fair. And on Thursday, we will be hosting our graduate career fair. And employers can participate in both of these events or one of these events. It's really up to you in terms of the types of students you want to connect with. So to begin your registration process, and this process is pretty straightforward, pretty intuitive if you have an NUWorks account, but there are some nuances that I'll talk about momentarily. But the first step you want to do is log into your NUWorks account, which will bring you to your NUWorks homepage. Now, if you don't have an account, or if you want to share, if you want others in your organization to participate, and if they don't have an account, there's information at the end of this session that will provide a link where you can sign up very quickly and easily. So, but once you've logged in, you're going to be at your NUWorks homepage. And what you want to do is go over to the left-hand side of the page and select Events. There will be a drop-down, and you will then want to select Career Fairs. Once you've selected career fairs here on steps 4 and 5, you want to select the events, the appropriate career fairs that you want to participate in. And they will have this heading, Spring 2021 Graduate, Spring 2021 Undergraduate. Whichever event you want to select and participate in, you will click the sign up button and hit next. This is what we call a standard registration event for Northeastern. So on this page, you just want to select the standard registration button and click next. Provide your contact information. And that will bring you to a set of screens regarding your organization's recruiting preferences and employer profile. So this is an important point in the registration process. As students start to look at companies that they want to connect with on the day of the fair, they're going to see information that is provided here. So this will allow you to put in a company logo. It'll allow you to indicate which industry you're in. If you have a link that you want to provide to your company website, you can do that. If you want to provide a quick blurb about your company, you can also indicate that. It'll also allow you to click on whether you're recruiting for undergraduate students or graduate students. You can indicate that here. Because this fair allows employers to promote co-op positions, full-time positions, internship opportunities, perhaps some part-time roles as well, you can indicate that in this last box down here. And the final thing you'll be able to indicate is your OPT or CPT status. Again, all of this information will be important as students begin to look at companies that they want to connect with on the day of the fair. So here, registration step 9, this is where you will do a couple of things, very important parts of the registration process. The first thing you'll be able to do here is, among other things, add in the meeting link that you will be using on the day of the fair. So that means the link to your Zoom page or your WebEx or your Google Meets page. That's how you're going to communicate and connect with students on the day of the fair. So you need to put that in the meeting instructions box here. Otherwise, students won't know how to connect with you. So that's an important point. The second point is you can have as many company representatives participate in the fair as you'd like. But each company representative also has to have their own separate meeting link. So if you have 3 or 4 people that are trying to connect with students during the course of that day, each person has to have their own separate link for students to connect with. So make sure you include as multiple links there as you can. So now here on step 10, this is the section where you want to indicate how you are going to interact with the students. Is it going to be in one-on-one sessions, or is it going to be in kind of the group chat format? You can do both, but each format requires its own separate meeting link. So if you're going to do one-on-one sessions with students, you have to include a meeting link for those sessions. And you want to also indicate how long are those sessions going to be? Are they going to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? You have an option down here to choose how long those sessions will be. If you're going to do the group chat here on step 11, you want to note that, again, this is a separate meeting link, and you want to make sure you indicate that in the instructions box down here, that the group chat is happening on a separate link. So you can do both, you just have to have separate links for each one. The other important point about the registration process is if you have jobs that you are looking to promote and to fill, and you want to advertise those jobs for students that are participating in the fair, this is where you do it, in the jobs for students section. It's simply for each job you want to post for students to view, you click the Add New button. And if you have jobs already posted in NU Works, those jobs will be extracted and placed into the registration process. This will allow students ahead of time to see the types of jobs you're looking to fill, and it will help facilitate the conversation on the day of the fair. We're almost finished with this process, the registration process. This is the payment, review, registration, and confirmation section. So it's important to point out on the payment piece, we only accept credit cards for this event. Now I know it says checks, there's a button to check for checks. That's a system error, we need to correct that. So as you go through this registration process, just bear in mind that we only take credit card payments for the registration process. So you want to select this option, go through that credit card payment set of instructions that we're all familiar with, and click next. You'll be able to review your registration. So if there's anything within the registration that doesn't look right or you want to change, you can do that at this particular moment. And then you want to click confirm. Once you click confirm, you'll get a confirmation that lays out your entire registration, and you're all set. You're good to go. But let's say a few days later, you want to go back and modify your registration. You can do that. It's not a problem. It's a pretty straightforward process. And the way you do it is articulated here. You want to go back to your NU Works homepage. You want to select the events tab. You want to select the career fairs dropdown. Select the career fair that you want to modify, whether it's undergrad or grad. You want to click the registration button within that system. And here you want to then scroll down to the bottom of the page and select the modify button. This will allow you to go in and edit your registration. So you can do a variety of things here. If you want to add additional representatives to your company, you can do that here. If you want to add jobs to the jobs section, you can do that. If you want to put in a different meeting link, whether it's Zooms or whatever, if you switch and decide, you can do that here. So you can make all sorts of modifications. But the most important takeaway here in the modification section is what it says here at the bottom. Do not close out immediately or your edits will not be saved. Click the next button until you reach the last page, the payment section, and click review and confirm. So click confirm to save. So in other words, once you make your modifications, don't X out or move on to something else. You have to make sure that you click review and click confirm to save your modifications. Otherwise, they won't be made. So that concludes the walkthrough of the registration and modification process for your registration for our upcoming spring career fairs. I hope that was helpful. Just a few important points to point out before we close here. Again, the undergraduate fair is Tuesday, February 2nd. The graduate fair is Tuesday, February 4th. Make sure you include the appropriate meeting link in the meeting instructions section. That's critically important in order to connect with students on the day of the fair. There are no limits on the number of company representatives that can participate, but they have to have their own meeting links if they intend to connect with students. And all career fair payments are done via credit card. So again, thank you so much for registering for the career fair or thinking about registering for the career fair. We hope to see you next month. We also want to thank you on behalf of the Employer Engagement and Career Design team. We want to thank you for your ongoing support of our students, for your interest in Northeastern and being an employer partner. We know this has been a challenging year. The Employer Engagement team is ready to help you move forward from a talent acquisition, workforce, and recruiting perspective. So we look forward to continuing to work with you. If you have any questions about the career fair in areas that may not have been covered in this session, you can click on this link, which will bring you to the career fairs homepage. We have an extensive FAQ link, which will answer many of your questions that were discussed today and other things that may not have been brought up. If you want to connect directly with a member of the employer engagement team, send us an email at careers@northeastern.edu, and someone from the employer engagement team, including myself, will follow up with you and talk to you about what your specific need is. Again, as I said at the beginning, if you don't have an NU Works account, or if you want to share that with one of your colleagues, you can click here. It's a very quick and easy way to sign up. And finally, if there are things you want to do with Northeastern beyond the career fair from a recruiting or talent acquisition or workforce development perspective, we'd love to work with you. So click on this link, fill out a very brief form that allows you to outline areas that you're interested in partnering with us, and someone from the employer engagement team will connect with you. So that concludes the walkthrough of the registration process for the career fair. Again, hope this was helpful. We look forward to seeing you next month, and thank you again for your support of Northeastern. Take care and have a healthy and safe new year.